Hi everyone,
Whoa, we're live. That's crazy.
I'm Michelle,
I'm Jedd.
and we're going to be talking about long-term international travel and planning for our upcoming trip.
Yeah, which is really exciting. Because, well, I can't say we haven't been to Southeast Asia before. We've been there, but this is the first time we're going to two new countries, which is exciting.
I don't need to be wearing a jacket for this.
You keep popping in and out there.
I just want to make sure that this is working on our...
Okay. Well, sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. We are still getting used to this.
Please say hello in the comments, ask us questions as we go. We'll be checking the comments and hopefully responding to you. There might be a little bit of a delay apparently. Yeah.
I think we're almost there. I think I got it.
Is that gonna stay?
I don't know. Well, let's see. Yeah, I think that works.
Okay.
All right.
So we have a trip coming up on Thursday, and that's why we wanted to share a little bit about our travel plans as we're actually getting ready for a trip and thinking of all these things. So one thing I'm going to do is I made a copy of the international travel checklist that I put together. This is something that anyone that subscribes to intentionaltravelers.com will get when they sign up now. And I kind of just put everything that we do as we're getting ready for a trip. But this week, something I wanted to do was make sure that it's legit and if there's anything that I left out. So as we're getting ready, I'll be kind of making sure that this is up to date and we'll be updating it soon.
One of us actually uses this list, which means both of us use this list.
Okay.
It's helpful. Yeah.
So...
That's awesome.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
We need to move on.
So Jedd,
Yep.
can you tell us about our upcoming trip?
Yeah, so again, we're leaving on Thursday for our next big adventure. And essentially what's going on is we're heading to Hawaii first to spend some time with my family. We're getting together for kind of a mini reunion of sorts. My family lives in Japan, but they're on vacation right now. My dad works in Japan, but they are coming back to Hawaii to visit, and we are going there to celebrate my dad's 70th birthday. Hey, Dad, happy birthday. He's not on Facebook, so. But we're getting together for a couple weeks to see them, see some family, and then we are using Hawaii as a launching point to go to Southeast Asia. And so we'll be in Southeast Asia for 3 months, about 3 months. 2.5, would you say?
2.5. Yeah,
Almost
I
3
think the
months.
whole thing is about 3 months.
Yeah. And what's neat about that is Hawaii, using Hawaii as a starting point really helps with miles. So when we got our tickets, it was really nice to get it and start from Hawaii. Hey, Jamie. How's it going? Jamie just popped in. So we just want to say hi to her. But yeah, so basically we're starting off in Vietnam. We'll be in Hanoi. And Hanoi is probably the largest city in the north. We got some helpful diagrams there.
It's up here in the orange.
Yeah. We have some really good friends of ours. A coworker of ours who used to work. We worked together with him. Hey, Major, if you're watching. We basically are going to go visit him. Him and his family do development work out in Vietnam.
And we stayed with them last time for a couple weeks, so it was really great to get their experience and then also connect with the Vietnamese people they work with. So that's kind of like our safe landing starting point. And then after that, we are going to be more independent and traveling on our own. And that's something that we have done a lot before, but never in a place where neither of us spoke the language. So all of our travel up to this point, except for maybe a couple hours here and there, has been either a place where we speak the language, French or Spanish or Italian, or we're with somebody who lives there or who really knows what they're doing.
Yeah, so this is one of the first times that we're just like really on our own, don't know the language. I used to rely on Michelle when we go to like, I don't know, France, and when we went to Ecuador recently. And now we're just like, we gotta rely on Google Translate and be very patient with each other. But we felt confident about going to Vietnam again because last year the people were really nice, and it just felt like it was kind of a good place to try this. And of course, many travelers do this on their own. So I guess we're just saying that for as much as we've traveled, we're still always experiencing something new, and there's still some jitters.
Totally.
Yeah, but
So hopefully you can see this. We're starting up in Hanoi, where our friends are, and then we're going to be traveling down to the center of Vietnam, going to 2 or 3 different towns, staying 3 days to 10 days at a time, and we'll be in Airbnbs.
yeah.
We're taking a overnight train down. That was recommended to us, so we're...
But aren't we like staying with like 2 other people in our train cabin thing?
Yeah, they're compartments of 4 or 6.
Wow. I hope they don't mind that we're light sleepers. I mean...
Well, they're not going to mind.
well, I mean, like, I don't... What if they snore or something?
Yeah.
It's
just one night.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
I think it'll be fun. Hopefully... Well, I mean, what if they don't speak our language? Like, what if we don't speak Vietnamese?
Then we use...
Sign language. Yeah, that works.
And we use Google Translate because we haven't done this, but our friends, John and Kate, who are avid travelers who we met in Peace Corps, they use Google Translate all the time, and they said you just type in what you want to say and then have it translate to Vietnamese, and it'll project for you.
Yeah. So we'll have to try that.
We'll be trying that out.
But we're going to Central Vietnam then, and from there, I think we
fly.
Yeah, we fly to Bangkok, right?
Yeah.
Which is the first time for us as well.
Yep, first time in Thailand.
Yeah.
And we are going there specifically for a conference that our friends are putting on. It's going to be the first of their conferences specifically for digital nomads. So we'll be volunteering at it. It's called 7 in 7 because the idea is that over 7 years they're going to have a different conference in 7 continents. So this is the first one.
Yeah, and big ups to those guys because, I mean, we plan events, and just the thought of 7, I don't know, conferences in 7 continents, I mean, yeah, that's crazy. So we're excited to try that. Yeah, we're excited to be there.
So then we just, this week, booked tickets for a quick jaunt over to Phuket, which we didn't think we were going to be able to pull off, but we had extra air miles.
It's Phuket, not Phuket, right?
I don't know. We'll find out for sure.
I never know.
But it just so happens that our former Peace Corps host family, the oldest daughter, is now living there. She married an Irishman, and they work for a resort that started in Jamaica and then moved them to Thailand. So they're, have started a new beach resort, I guess. So we'll stay with them a couple nights.
It's a small world. That's all we're trying to say.
We're really excited.
Our host sister from Jamaica that we did the Peace Corps is in Thailand, and we're going to go visit them in Thailand. That you can't make that up. That's crazy.
And then we'll be flying into Chiang Mai, which we will stay there for a month at an Airbnb, and we've heard a lot of great things. Everyone, especially digital nomads that have traveled, have been there, and they say that it's amazing because there's good internet and cafes and cheap food and temples and not too far from the elephant sanctuaries and all this stuff. So
before we move on,
Jamie's asking.
Yeah, let's talk about again. Let's tell everybody who we are.
Okay.
So I'm Jedd.
If you're just joining, Jedd and Michelle, we are of intentionaltravelers.com. We have a 3-month trip to Asia, Southeast Asia coming up.
We're trying out this Facebook Live thing. If you can, please like, comment, follow, like Jamie's doing. And so Jamie asked the question, is this the one you made cinnamon rolls for? It's not the same host sister. It's the same family.
Yeah. But
the ones we made the cinnamon rolls for was the second sister. This is the oldest sister that we're going to see. So Thanks for asking the question, Jamie.
Yeah, so
So
we'll be
Chiang Mai.
staying in Chiang Mai.
I can't believe we're there for a month long, though. I mean, that's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's
Chill.
that's kind of how we like to travel, though.
Yep.
We like to stay in a place for a while.
Because we'll be working online. We have our freelance clients that we'll continue to do social media and blog posting for. So we have apartments that for sure have good internet and a little kitchen if we want to cook our meals. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think most people think of travel as you go for like a week and you try to see everything as quick as possible. But we like to take our time. And a month does sound long, though, like when you first think of it. Like,
Yeah.
It always seems like, that
Well,
seems way too long.
yeah, it gives us time to have normal life, and then, afternoons or weekends we can go explore.
And there's some financial benefits to that, too.
Yeah, you don't spend a ton of money on transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the Airbnb is only, I can't remember the exact price, but it's like $500, which is basically a third of rent in Portland. And we didn't show you where that is.
Chiang Mai?
Okay, so Bangkok is kind of in the middle of the pink one, and Chiang Mai is up north more. So that's where we'll be going. And then next, we fly to Cambodia, which is the green one.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know much about Cambodia. And that's kind of an exciting part.
Yeah, it's a little ironic. Cambodia is kind of our splurge country, not because it is more expensive itself, but because we're there for a short time, we kind of are doing a little bit more touristy things. So we'll land in Phnom Penh, and a former University of Portland student where I used to work is volunteering there for a couple of years. So she's gonna meet us there and show us around, which is really awesome because we don't know Khmer language either. So she'll be our guide, and then she's gonna take us on the bus to Siem Reap. And there we're going to do the Angkor Wat half marathon, which she has done before. And we're not planning to really run or like train too hardcore, but that's kind of our way to see the Angkor Wat ruins and temples and take our camera along with us, and see it all at once. And then we're also going to try to go to, there's, I guess, a nonprofit circus that's put on by like at-risk youth or something. I'm not sure, but I've heard that it's really cool. So we're going to be doing that.
That's right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that we're going to go see a circus or some sort of circus performance in Cambodia.
Yeah.
And then after Cambodia, we then fly to Japan to see my parents. And then, and just hang out with them. That's the most important thing for us, is to see them. And then from there, we go back to the States. So that's kind of the itinerary. I love this low tech guide.
Southeast Asia flying to Japan. In case you don't know. Cool. Well, for new people, Mark is saying, I've been trying to talk a buddy into going to Spain or Italy for a month and renting an apartment. No luck so far.
Ooh.
Mark, sounds like a great idea to us. We definitely want to do that as well. Yeah, let us know what the kind of holdups are, and maybe we can have some ideas for you to swing that toward your friend and convince him.
And we can share a lot of personal stories of how we got involved with that, because I mean, at first I don't know, I wasn't convinced that living abroad was a good idea for a while, but having done it now a couple of times, it's an awesome idea. And Jamie, no, I don't know if we're gonna be able to see that. Although I am interested in knowing more about the history in Cambodia. So I think one of the things that's important to us is when we travel to somewhere new, we like spending time with people who live there or work there, because it gives us a chance to know more about the country from their perspective and history and those kind of things. So
yeah.
So I don't know what we'll be doing or seeing from her perspective, or like what she's gonna be showing us, but it might be one of those things too. If we fall in love with Cambodia, there's a good chance we might go back. It's kind of how we did with Vietnam. Yeah. Thanks for the questions, everyone.
Yeah. So, Jedd, what have we been doing? Because we're talking about trip prep. What have we been doing this week to get ready? Because we're leaving in like 5 days.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, so basically, whenever we prepare for a big trip, I feel like we take over a room where we can lay out sort of all the stuff that we think we're gonna need, and then try to pack accordingly. Yeah, we can kind of show people what that looks like right now. So that's Michelle's stuff, which looks a lot more
So
messy.
far.
Yeah, mine's actually way more nicely laid out, which is
So one of my must-dos when getting ready for a trip like this, you want to set that up?
no, it's good.
Is to give myself plenty of time to pack and to actually lay it all out like many days in advance, so that if I think of something, I can go put it in the pile and make sure that it doesn't like slip my mind and then I've thought of it but I haven't actually put it in my bag. So it gives me a lot of chance to like just remember and add to the packing list.
What also allows us to pare down things too. Like oftentimes I like to put everything I think I'm gonna need, and then I like to like almost look at it and be like, do I really need this? And then sort it all out. Yeah, and this year I'm not really sure. Like this trip, last trip we went to Ecuador, I brought a frying pan because I love to cook, and this year this trip I'm like, I don't know, should I do that? And just things like that. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but like a frying pan makes a big difference in terms of weight and how you pack and those kind of things.
Definitely.
Frying pan.
Or your cooking knives.
Anybody else bring a frying pan? Yeah. Or my cooking knives.
Vegetable peeler. Things that are hard to find in good quality in other places.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, definitely we're taking the time to lay everything out, make sure that all of our reservations have been done, that we need to get done, making sure that we have all our travel documents. One of the things that we do is we also, to get money out from different countries, we use ATMs. And Michelle found this really cool tip or trick where we can put money online through this thing and we don't pay an ATM fee. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is that one of the tricks?
It's a Fidelity ATM card.
Yeah, so that's really helpful because, don't want to be stuck with cash or not with cash, and then and also you're very practical like that. Like you know these tricks to save money. Where I'm like, let's just accept the fees, and you're like, whoa,
no fees. Another thing that we do, I don't know if you can see that, is we use Wunderlist. This is like a to-do app, and so it looks backwards to me. I hope it doesn't look backwards to you. We create different lists, like shopping list or packing list, and then things to do. So like one thing I did this week, I waited to pay our estimated self-employment tax payment until we got a travel card that needed like a minimum spend. So as many of you know, we do travel hacking to get our international flights, and a lot of times to get a sign-up bonus of like 50,000 miles, you have to spend a certain amount of, like $2,000 or $3,000 in the first 3 months. So we don't usually spend thousands and thousands of dollars every month, so we kind of save up those big purchases until we know that we're going to have a card that we need to meet a minimum spend on. So I'm going to mark it off right now so you can see.
It's backwards though, but that's okay. Yeah.
Next little ding.
The neat thing about Wunderlist is that we both share the app. We have it on her iPhone and my Android, but it also works on our computer. So the list is synced, which is really nice, and it's really helpful to share. Michelle, I think, likes the assign feature though, because she likes to assign me to-dos, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But very helpful. Having lists, very helpful. Especially on the day when we leave, we want to make sure that we got everything that we need, and we like to make sure we check it off. And the ding is very, very it's very helpful. Like you want to hit that ding. You're like, yes, I accomplished something. I'm not a list person, but Wunderlist is a really good tool.
So another app that we're using on this trip, because we have so many different flights booked and Airbnbs booked, which is kind of unusual for us. Usually we stay with people that we know, and we don't have like confirmation codes or anything that we need to keep track of. But
a ton of them.
This trip we do. And so we're using TripIt. It's a free app. And it has all of your, or it will keep all of your like itineraries and codes and times by date. And what's nice about it is when you get a confirmation email, like for a flight, you just have to forward it to plans@tripit.com from the address that you're registered with. And it'll automatically put your travel information into the app and save it. So it'll like pull out the confirmation code, the departure time, your seat numbers, and all those things.
It's like having a digital travel agent that puts your itinerary together.
And then it'll store, once it's on your app, it'll store it offline so that you always have it. So that's really handy for keeping track of things.
Yeah.
So Jedd, I know before Peace Corps you hadn't done a ton of international travel, and so since the last couple years, I think you've learned a lot about packing.
Yeah.
So what are some of those things that you're putting into practice now?
Let's see. I still overpack for every trip, but I'm getting better. And I think I realized that you should definitely bring what you need, and that's really important, versus what you think you're going to need. Because oftentimes I think we try to plan for every single major thing, and I think that's too much. One of the things I think you've taught me is that if we really need to, we can always get something in another country. Like, it's not the end of the world if you forget something.
Yeah, we're not like traveling to Antarctica where they don't have stores. It's like people live in the places where we're going. They need toothpaste and all those things too. So I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah, it's like, I think people tend to like overbring things. But I think one of the things I always say is like, if you're not going to use it once in your whole trip, then you probably shouldn't have brought it. Right? I mean, like that.
How do you know that?
Well, like I always bring a headlamp, and I always think like, oh, I'm going to use the headlamp. In the last 3 trips, I've never used the headlamp once. So this trip, not bringing the headlamp. You know, and then I don't know. Oftentimes too, I think we think we're never going to do laundry, and I basically bring like a week's worth of clothes now instead of bringing like 2 weeks worth of clothes. Yeah, you know, it's simple things like that where I've just learned to be smarter, because a lot of it too is the weight. Like we carry it on our back, you know, on our backs with backpacks and stuff. So, you know, the weight makes a big difference. Yeah. Yeah. What have you learned for packing wise?
One thing that I'm trying to do more now is do what they call a what's the word?
Capsule
wardrobe. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
yeah.
Since we move around like year round, I don't collect that many clothes in the first place. So I'm really trying to make sure that all of my clothes go with each other, and kind of have like a color scheme. And one thing I found when we were living in Jamaica is like I would like really bright and patterned skirts, but then a lot of my shirts were also patterned and they didn't go together. So that was a problem. So now,
I never had that problem.
Things like this where it can be dressy or casual. It's plain print and it can go with a lot of different things. That really helps for my packing.
Before we go on though, so Facebook always tells us that we need to keep doing this. So Jedd and Michelle Chang again, Intentional Travelers. We are talking about our prep for our upcoming trip and how to prepare for big trips, like the one we're doing, a 3-month trip to Southeast Asia. We're live at the moment, which is awesome. And thanks for asking any questions and liking and commenting. That helps. And we got another question from Jamie.
Or share the video.
Jamie has a question of, are you guys global entry? And I love that question because we are actually in the process of getting global entry, I think.
Yeah, we put it off because of the fee for a while. We weren't sure that it was worth it.
One of us wasn't sure if it was worth it.
Yeah. And then one of the travel hacking cards that we got, part of the benefits of the card is it gives you $100 credit on the global entry fee, which is $100 is what it costs. So we got one for free and purchased the other, and we're in the process of applying. We actually have our interview in Hawaii because there were no interview spots for like months on end in Portland. So I guess it's that popular. I don't know.
Yeah, and we're not really sure how the process works. Or like once we have our interview, I mean, I don't know if we're like how long it's going to take for us to say you're in or yeah.
Well, my understanding is that it's primarily for entry back into the United States, and then also you get TSA pre-check, which is only in the United States. So we have some time from Hawaii to, we have like 3 months on this trip where we're going to be away. So by the time we get back, hopefully it'll be in effect, and
Yeah. But most of our
we'll use it
friends,
in the future.
most of our friends who travel who use it or have it say they love it, and it's kind of funny. It took us so long to do it, but by the time everybody does it too, right? We're all going to be TSA pre-check, so yeah.
All right. Let us know if you guys have any other questions.
Well, so that's a good question by Joel. So what is global entry?
Okay, so global entry. When you are traveling internationally and you come back to the United States, everybody has to go through customs. And a lot of times the lines are really long. So you can be waiting for half an hour or longer to talk to the little person that's like, what did you do on your trip?
Agent?
And yeah.
The little person.
The customs agent.
Wow.
And they check your passport and they like stamp that you came back in. So global entry allows you to skip that line. You do a little interview in advance and they like do the background check on you. You pay the fee, and so anytime you come back into the country, you skip that line. I think you just like scan at a machine or something. Something that takes a lot less time, and you get TSA pre-check.
But the real benefit, though, is, the TSA pre-check is huge because if you want to like avoid waiting to get into the terminal area, then TSA pre, everybody goes to the left or what? I mean, not the left, but they just skip the main line, and so it's usually faster. So if you
don't have to take off your belts in TSA pre-check, or you don't have to take your laptops out, so that's nice.
So if you travel a lot, it just saves you a lot of time. And for us, we do travel a fair amount, and so it's kind of nice. And again, like Michelle was saying, we get credit for it, for this application fee based on our credit card that we got.
And it lasts for 5 years.
So if you think about time and you think about like how much the fee actually is, it's not that bad. Yeah. But Joel, you should travel more, and then maybe it'll actually be worth it.
That's Jedd's brother, for those of you that
He's watching, and he was asking the question, so. Shout out to Joel. Hey, Joel.
Any other questions about prepping for travel?
I think I would like to ask, I'd like to ask you, what is one of your biggest concerns, like, leading up to a trip? Like, what is one of your biggest worries? Oh, and she wasn't planning on this question, so I caught her off guard.
Biggest worries.
Yeah, like, do you have any concerns or anything, like, before you go on a trip?
I always have to kind of balance, because I love trip planning, and I'm a plan-aheader, and I know that, especially with, like, Southeast Asia, a lot of people go and they don't book ahead because there's so many options, and they're usually cheap. But I feel like for our kind of travel, we need to make sure that we have internet and that we have a place where we're going to get good rest so that we can like carry on our regular lives and every day. So for that reason, I think it's important to plan ahead, but then your trip is a little less flexible. So if we get to an Airbnb that we don't like, we're already booked. Or if we get somewhere that we really like and we want to stay longer, we have our train tickets to the next place already. So we kind of have to learn, not for this trip, but for the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the thing is, right, we all need to remember that everybody has their personal preference for how they like to travel. We like to take it nice and slow and easy. One of us really needs sleep, so we always take that into consideration.
We don't both need sleep.
Well, you need more sleep than I do. Okay. No, but the point I think is that like there are people who just go to some place and then make their plans there, and that seems to work out well for them. The kind of travel that we do, that just doesn't work out for us. Like, yeah. Basically,
I like to plan kind of the structure, so like where we're staying and the transportation that we need to book in advance. But the day to day, we don't have any plans, except for like the half marathon is obviously on a specific day. But everything else is like when we get there, we have the flexibility within that time period to do whatever we feel like doing.
Yeah.
So that's good. What else am I concerned about? With this trip, I am concerned about the language barrier. I don't think it's going to be like a huge detrimental thing. It's just like a little bit more stress, and I know it'll take, you know, a little extra effort and time.
I remember when we were in Vietnam last year, everybody kept looking at me like, oh, hey, aren't you going to interpret for the rest of the group? And our friend Major, who's from Mississippi, speaks Vietnamese now. And I was like, talk to that guy. Like,
talk to the white guy.
Yeah, like he can speak Vietnamese. And they were like, whoa, you know. It'll be fun. I mean, it's always a fun adventure to sort of figure things out. And I think we're going to try to figure out basic words, right? Like, oh, yeah. Like, not spicy, please.
Yeah, we need to know how to say not spicy in all the languages.
I just got to bring a sweat rag because that's spicy food.
Another thing that we do that not everyone, especially digital nomads, a lot of them are really awesome in that they do all their packing in a carry-on bag, which we have not gotten to that point yet. One, because Jedd brings his kitchen knives and that's not allowed in the carry-on. And then, you know, like toiletries and stuff. Please post another live video of Jedd eating spicy food abroad. We will try to do some abroad. If we can get good enough internet, we'll definitely do that.
We should do that. Like, we should basically go find a meal somewhere, take it back, and then do one of these things. And we can show people, like...
how Jedd sweats.
Well, and,
awesome.
Well, I mean, just, like, how spicy food is. Like, I mean, I'll try it, but, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if people will like that.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're checking our bags. So that is an added risk because they can get lost, which we found out 2 years ago when we traveled to France for a month.
Yeah, they lost our bags.
Air France. Be careful of Air France because when they lost our bags, they actually arrived to the airport later that day, but they could not get them to us. And when they tried to, we told them our schedule and where we're going to be, and when we tried to get them at one apartment, they went to another one, and so it was actually 10 days that we went without our bags.
That was an interesting
But we were
adventure.
able to charge like 200 euros to Air France for our clothing and toiletries.
Anyways, all that being said, though, there is a risk that when you check in your bags, you obviously don't know if it's going to get there or not. So what can you do, you know? And if that happens, then I guess we just get new clothes in Asia. So... but our friends, we do have friends though who travel all with carry-ons, and I'm amazed at how they do that. Like everything, we're just not there yet. So maybe one day. One of the comments, did you see one of the comments right there? Instead of a jumping Jedd photo, you guys should do how Jedd sweats. Hashtag Jedd sweats. I don't know if people would like that though. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Well, I guess. For me, my biggest concern always is I always worry about safety. I think that's just me being honest with people, you know, and want to make sure that we're safe. But at the same time, I've also realized, like, having lived abroad for more than 2 years now, having lived in a different country for a while in different places, you know, what is safety? And I'm always concerned about that. But at the same time, like, I'm learning a lot of what that word means, and I know that, like, there are places that are unsafe in the States, and any city you live in, and all those things, so.
Is there anything you're doing to prepare for safety? Like, I know we just ordered something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think one of the things that we both learned, living in Jamaica, and also just through travel, and we had a really great safety teacher when we were in the Peace Corps, is about how to mitigate risk. So just basically how to not make yourself a target. Yeah, I think the word she called was crimes of opportunity. So just making sure that you reduce your risk in any possible ways. So we ordered a travel belt. It's not really a travel belt, it's more like a running belt that you can, like, hide things in.
Lindsay, the knives are not for safety, they're for cooking. No.
Yeah, definitely for cooking.
Good one.
Yeah, and then we also have what's called a diversion safe. I don't know if anybody knows what that is.
Do you have that here?
I don't know if I have it with me right now.
Oh.
But essentially, it's like any everyday item that can be used to store things like documents, money. So things like a book. You can actually Amazon this and look up something called a diversion safe. But essentially, you can open up a book, something that looks like a book, but inside it's hollow, and you can put documents in there. There's also
We
canisters.
do that for keeping cash.
Yeah, there's things like canisters, so you can get like a cup of
shaving
soup,
cream.
shaving cream bottle. You can get one that looks like a power outlet, but these are things that you can use to hide stuff in if you need to. So just, yeah, if you're curious about that, if you're worried about like where to stash cash or valuables. And we also bring fake rings when we travel. So it's things like that. Like, we just don't make, I don't know, we never flash our valuables.
Nothing flashy. Try to keep even your smartphone, don't have it out as much as possible.
Or just like take a look at everybody else, what everybody else is doing. If everybody else is on their smartphones, you're probably fine. But if no one has their smartphone out in a crowded area, probably not the best thing to have. So it's just things like that. But I don't know. That's my main concern is safety. But yeah, but I'm just more excited than worried, if anything.
Yeah. Okay, well, if no one has more questions, we will wrap up.
Thanks for joining us.
Make sure, we do hope to do this again in different locations, assuming we can get good Wi-Fi. So make sure you go to the Intentional Travelers page, look for the little drop-down arrow.
Well, where it says liked. Where it says like or liked.
And it should say like turn notifications turned on for live video.
Yeah, there's an arrow next to the liked button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you enjoyed the video, please like it and share it.
We'll try to be more entertaining next time.
Yeah, Jedd will prepare a dance.
Whoa, easy there.
True.
And Jamie, we'll let you know whether or not that we brought the pan or not, because it's still up in the air.
We will definitely bring our seasoning, our favorite seasoning, because we always bring that, right?
What's our favorite seasoning?
Jeddy's. Used to be Johnny's, now it's Jeddy's.
Now it's Jeddy seasoning. I make my own seasoning now. Yay! All right. Anyways, we better go.
Okay. Thanks, care.
Everyone.
Happy travels.
See
you next time.
Maybe next time we'll talk to you, we'll be in Hawaii. That's kind of crazy.
Yep.